is called to order at 7 p.m. Members present: Amanda Robbins, Nicole Moore, Pat Arnold, Tim Hines, Ron Fisher, and
yeah, he's joining remotely.
remote. Okay, please rise for the pledge. The pledge of allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any comments or changes to the agenda?
Nope.
Any audience members who like to address the board of education?
No, we did not receive any email correspondence either.
Okay, so we'll go right into our presentation of Student Services Department.
Great.
Hello.
So, really what I wanted to touch on was starting to talk a little bit about last year. I know we presented last year, you guys had a lot of ideas and stuff, so we wanted to see some things into consideration for our goals for last school year and moving into this school year. So I wanted to show a little bit of the highlights of what we did last year. Our counselors at individual meetings with the students. One of the issues that we had in the past was really about lunch meetings. You know, the first lunch time, or student after class and student. One of the goals we have is really sitting down and having meaningful conversations with each other. And so they started that, and they actually got into this year as well. They already have the seniors, they're still trying to catch those seniors that they haven't gotten hold of in the virtual environment. And now they've moved on to juniors, and then of course these sophomores and freshmen. And really starting those meaningful conversations, talking about what are your post-secondary plans, what types of classes, when it is that post-election time, we need to pay to look at, for the plan they need, whether they're going to the military, 3-year school, 2-year school, trade school, whatever the classes, 3-year careers, connected into careers. So really just having those conversations. A lot of the conversations we're having right now with juniors are revolving around this SAT as well, having those conversations. But SAT can be have those gathering, getting practice, and getting ready for that too, because it's a big part of that junior year. We also, and I heard some pictures that we did a lot of lunch hour activities. The counselors came out and was giving us, they actually help us all outside because it's so nice to see how different activities related to multiple themes, so whether it's on colleges, careers, classes, and just a variety of different things. This came out with something really fun, had some stickers or candy, different things, we have to come up and talk, answer questions, different things like that. Our council really helping with the counselors, we allow them to have the parents coming in, having conversations. This year we thought we were more virtual because, we really have many people coming to the building right now, so doing some virtual things with that. Marketing equipment, that was a big thing. Really just making the counselors available. And, some kids were just dropping in, but really making it more, making appointments, schedule time, just that increase that communication through email, and then what our counselors are reaching out to. But it's really just kind of taking the time slot versus coming out, they're not going to walk in the class and wait for them. They can be more proactive. I'm available this time, I'm picking that slot. So it just really helped that communication between the students and the work. Continue to do some of the outreach programs, we started doing that. We're going to continue that, the parents, receive an email, what's now about. We'll continue going back, that's where that 4-year plan. Now we did not have it available until towards the middle end of the year where you can actually start doing that. So we're really trying to put that information in with saving kids' classes, 4 years, whatever happens to a freshman year, sophomore year, putting all that on the parents' course of access, and they can see those conversations What are the career classes? What are the student interested in doing? What classes should they be taking? What are the conversations those classes about? And then career sites for 10th graders, bringing speakers, to talk about different careers, things like that. Class presentations, greater than a lot of classes right now for the freshmen. They talked about that here, put it on the phone, and we have a question for the Zoom, so it's been very different, very interesting, and really getting the kids set up, the freshman students set up in that, it's very talk about careers for the freshmen. And then, of course, our different presentations, big program has been focused on gaps tonight, offering up for parents and assistance for that. As far as the SEL, the SEL social psychologists, we really started looking at this, like, what are we doing for all students, not just when kids need extra help, we need to come down, really getting out there, being visible to all students. So we created the SEL plan, and with that, we did all three things. And that included coming down for lunch. We have several really more around the table, playing different games for the kids with different things. So rather than hoping, depression, anxiety, all sorts of things, the resources that came out, we did a lot of different things with kids. Just getting that information. Also teachers and technology having different posters with SEL. We did a video training. We always have a video training, and we're looking for ways to improve that for this year. I know our social workers have got some ideas that really just keep giving to our families, and that's all stuff that we want to donate to our families. We also have a youth mental health first aid training. The staff, we have several staff members get trained in that, and then they started training teachers on youth mental health first aid. Lunch and learn, we did lunch and learns for staff. Since we have our prevention and wellness coordinator, Laura Reed, she set up a lot of lunch and learns, whether it was outside people coming in, whether it was us doing internally. This is forming our CLM on how to support students in the classroom. We have in there, we have parents, the team room meeting information that we set up, and then over at MCHS, we did on first night. We created location, and we're able to kind of walk through that room and see some of his things that you wouldn't necessarily know as a parent. So you're allowed to working with, you're working with governments and that. Of course, we have parents and newsletter, and then also agency coordination, and even a warrior support to go website, which is another resource for our students. For this year, like I said, the school counselors continuing with individual student meetings. I also have counselors this year, because a lot of the focus next year will be great, but really making sure that our 9th grade, the 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, really a good curriculum for each grade level, and allowing all of them to have 60 minutes for the school council students. So allowing all three student standards and how we go. So that is one of the goals and the focus for this year is really just lining up that how readiness curriculum on the council side. Of course, we have program, the completion of the warrior plan, the different classes for some teachers. Right now, we're to the virtual college, since we're really kind of progress for the we're getting that information out and we can sign up for the virtual college. And then the draft for students, and then we have the goals for the school counselors and the colleges today. Social learning, there's like college ideas, activities. We have now we really want to take all the activities that we're doing and align it to the standards. So one of the line and how we do it. So really moving in that direction of aligning all our curriculum in those areas and then how we evaluate it. This year we decided, since we really like a copy of the counselors, I'll bring a copy of the services. We had 1 minute, making it virtual, and it was around the questions. So making our staff available to have conversations regarding things, staying available for that. We're do also do class interpretations, and they'll be doing that too. Problems and health classes is a big priority for them. And they also, when they get teachers, because some teachers will say, hey, I got a lesson, can you jump in? That sort of collaborate, they also collaborate on to keep the video live, so to be. And then, one thing they're doing right now is really focusing on what support we can provide when students have, now, if students have, what do we need to do to support them? And what do we need to do to support them? There's been a lot of things on, and we just want to make sure we're supporting each other. So, right now, in the process of developing plans that are going to be sharing with us, in order to support. And then, of course, continue with the monthly things and activities. Looking into the future. So, since we're making a big campus shift here pretty soon, we're going to have that 9:30 campus. We're really going to have a lot of conversations about what does it look like next year. You know, what are the counselors? There's a big campus and the small campus, social workers and science. What does that look like? So we're really having a conversation and violation, and then maybe that announcement, like what is it going to be with other counselors and science and social workers. And then we're going to be able to continue to plan our curriculum, and really going to focus on grade level, you know, 9th grade, 10th grade level, 12th grade, such we have a freshman campus, and then we have a 10th grade transition level. We really want to make sure our grade levels are set with the curriculum, with the SEL, and of course, probably ready. And then we've been working on, we're going to be working on orientation, so really having that one day orientation at the freshman campus, but also having another orientation for those that are coming over here. So we have to see that over at East Campus, they're going to come over to the building. So we'll offer it on the first year to be offered to all students that are coming over. And then eventually we'll just be that 9th grade orientation and then the 10th grade orientation, all of those transitions.
Great.
Sure, I have a quick question. I've started getting more and more questions about, are we doing enough to encourage students to go into the trades? It seems like, at least it was this parent's perception, that okay, because of all the testing we're doing, the SAT testing, you know, the college, you know, the virtual college visit, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Their question was, well, what are we doing to encourage kids to go into the trades? Because they were speaking from the standpoint of, you know what, that's going to be a big need, you know, in the very near future. So as you look at kind of the future, do you feel confident that we're kind of prepared to encourage kids to potentially go that route, if that's in fact where they feel it's best for them, and not just, you know, the ongoing college or the, you know, community college or that type of thing?
Absolutely. And one thing that I've done working with counselors last year is I really wanted people to take leads on different areas, and that was one of the areas, because we know we're going to have kids in trade school. So I encourage Matthew, you know, he's very passionate about that, and he learned more. And like MCC has some, like a breakfast and stuff like that. So we're really trying to set our counselors to become more informed of the different areas. So when they do have those conversations, those individual meetings, there's a big part about that. Because yeah, we do know not that your student is going to go off to 4-year college. What do they want to do? Are they want hands-on? Are they taking with classes or manufacturing classes? And what's the next step? And to get an internship or an apprenticeship, and what is that next step in connecting with students? The nice thing that we did have last year during our,
MCI.
When we got to MCI, we did our professional development with everybody. When we did have MCC come over, and they had a breakout session, and they were working.
Oh yeah, the tri-conference with
Thank you. And we did a lot of counselors attended that session, so they can make that connection, so they can learn more.
Okay.
So they can be all informed. Because that's one of the big things, is that we want the counselors informed of all the different areas, so they can have meaningful conversations with the students.
Yeah, and I think also, Tim, just to chime in a little bit there is, you know, I don't know any school anywhere that has made the investment. You know, if you look at the science, technology, and industry, 1/3 of that huge building and investment that our community has made, really, and you partner that with the MTI, and we're really excited. Unfortunately, we had to cancel the MTI,
it was just going to be a couple of weeks ago. But in the future, we're going to move the MTI to the Center for Science, Technology, and Industry. And so next fall, we're going to have that premier career expo again in the hallways of that amazing building.
Yeah, and like I said, I was able to talk to those things, so I was aware of those things. And like I said, I think it was more just from right now, everybody's talking about the SATs. You know, and it's like, it's almost like we need to make sure.
But being college, this is very important. Being college ready is being career ready too.
Right.
So it's college and career readiness. I mean, those same standards, those standards to be college ready, you need for a skilled manufacturing base. And so, the real demonstration of our commitment to the trade and commitment to skilled manufacturing is really the redevelopment of these pathways that we have.
I agree.
So even more so than the facility that we've built is the idea that now we have these pathways along the line, whether it's manufacturing or construction or advanced graphics, that when a kid takes that sequence, right, over the course of 3 or 4 years, they come out with maybe a certificate, or they can come out really skilled ready, career ready to enter that workforce at a really high level. And now with the facilities we have, the equipment that they're going to be using, it's going to be an even higher level. So I think that, we've always stressed our job is to provide our students and parents with options, so that no matter what you want to do when you graduate, you have multiple options available. We'll do that college, career, military, and then other jobs there. Not pigeonhole you your freshman and sophomore year that you need to do this. Keep all those options available, especially with our curriculum. So,
And that's really ties into our 4-year plan, really helping
No, no.
plan. And then you think, I took this class, I didn't know I'd be interested in this, let me make that adjustment.
I have a question and kind of piggybacks on that a little bit, actually. How are we in the Student Services Department helping the student who are not sure which path or cluster they want to follow? Because they're 14, 15, 16 years old, and I know some that get stressed. I don't know which path I want, and I'm already a sophomore, I'm a junior.
That's a great question. That's what we use at the program. There's a lot of surveys in there, interest surveys that they actually do with the kids. And they actually just did it with that question because they're doing a career paper in an English class. So every question is around this interest survey, and then they're followed up. And so they have to set curriculum, but it always goes back to, okay, what are you interested in? And even in my observations, I still counselors, when they have the questions, well, what are you interested in? I don't know. Well, let's do a quick survey. Okay, are you interested in these types of things? Because there's a lot of students who are up and decided, but really just having this conversation. What do you think you're good at? What do you think your strengths are? What types of classes are you interested in? And that's really where a lot of the individual conversations are, especially these meetings that they're doing now. And I think we do it at course selection time as well.
but also encouraging kids to take these different electives that we have, whether it's biomedical science or manufacturing or engineering or all these different things that we're offering to see, journalism, to see maybe what pathway you want. So I think being able to jump on a pathway after exploring a couple of different ones will also benefit those students so they have a chance to sample a couple of things. And that's the kind of school we want to be. That's what a comprehensive high school can bring to their community. I think for the last year we really talked about making sure that kids have access to their counselors who are visible. And Shay's done a great job of scheduling those appointments. Our counselors done an awesome job being visible, maybe in the cafeteria. We have a great counseling staff, and really making them very visible and accessible. And that last month we put that college and career resource center, where we're going to house so many of those resources for career and college and our counselors. Really having that accessibility to an even greater factor to be located right across from the library. So, great job. David supporting our nurses too on our COVID response plan. So, it's been a challenging year, but we're looking toward the future and preparing for next year. All right. Anything else for Shay? Great job. Thank you, counselors, social workers, psychologists, vendors. We appreciate it. Okay.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Ron. Second. Mr. Hines?
Yes.
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Fisher?
Yes.
Ms. Laura?
Yes.
Mr. Arnold?
Yes.
Ms. Rogers?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, wonderful. Moving up to business.
Yeah. So I just wanted to draw your discussion, but a very important component of the that joint conference that we go to annually in November is really the resolution committee report and the time when we send a representative to vote on the different ISBE resolutions that are coming out. I did provide everyone with a booklet of all the resolutions. Last year, I believe our representative was Pat. I think Pat is still our representative, and Dawn, sorry, as we get feedback on these different polls, these different resolutions, I'd ask you to forward them to Dawn, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to register for the actual virtual resolution voting block. So we can have our voice be heard on these different statewide ISB resolutions. Okay?
Brian, were there any of these resolutions that caused concern to you?
I want to say concern, I think it's important to all of them together and stand up your mindset. I think that depending on where we are as a board, it's important to kind of each give our kind of opinion to Dawn and kind of see what we can be as a district. Unfortunately, we're not going to have another board meeting kind of discuss, and we'll have to forward those comments over to Dawn. But I think most of them are relatively straightforward. Okay? Yeah, we had our first reading of the board policies last month, so we're on to our second reading. Like I said last month, the majority of these policies surround the new Title IX legislation that's come out, and it's actually grown further. We've had to consult our attorneys all month long to make sure that we have a solid policy to protect Title IX and harassment for students, staff, to make sure our investigation process is solid. So we be in complete compliance with all these different policies. So I'm going to have Julie come on up. She is our Title IX coordinator, so she can talk a little bit about the primary three policies that is our new Title IX framework we've been working on for about 6 months now.
Hello, everybody. So as kind of reviewed last time, earlier in the spring, the U.S. Department of Education passed these Title IX policies. And a big portion of the policy was very specific processes, procedures, timelines, and how exactly the Title IX allocation. And so we have been, Dr. McFadden mentioned, working with the attorneys to make sure that we're in compliance, completing different trainings along the way. So last week we just trained all of our investigators, which means all of our building administrators during a digital learning plan on Thursday. Everything I was trained on how to complete an investigation. Also on October 7th, the U.S. Department of Education updated their guidance and was very specific about definitions associated with Title IX. So we were able to work with the attorneys to make sure we had those definitions and provide those to our Title IX team, as well as the administrative procedures that we need to follow to make sure that we're in compliance should the Title IX allocation come in place.
So in all the policies, we see extra edits. So actually, that's our attorneys that have already reviewed the ISB recommendations. They've also put in a language we need to feel very secure as a district. So that we can implement this policy, we feel very good that whenever we have a complaint for harassment or Title IX infraction or allegation, that we know how to handle that completely, and that everyone in our district has been trained so that we can take care of our kids and our teachers. So it was very important that these policies and all of our edits that came in have been fully vetted and that we are ready to implement. So even before passing policy, we've already started the training process so that as soon as it passes, we are ready to go.
And so to kind of walk that a little bit, part of the regulations was to have a specific grievance procedure associated with Title IX sexual harassment complaints. And so that's why we need the addition of policy 265, because that's the grievance procedure associated with Title IX, whether it's still a uniform grievance procedure, that's policy 2260.
All right, are there any questions? Okay, thanks, Julia.
Do I have a motion to adopt the new or revised school board policy presented by the ISBE Press 6105 for approval?
So moved.
Tim, second?
I'll second.
Andy? Roll call, please.
Mr. Ryan?
Yes.
Mrs. Levin?
Yes.
Mr. Fisher?
Yes.
Mrs. Laura?
Yes.
Mr. Arnold?
Yes.
Ms. Renner?
Yes. Thank you. The new position approval, Director of Special Services.
Yeah, it's part of our administrative restructuring that's going to be taking place here next year. We're also going to be able to fill a position we currently have open. We want to kind of rework our director of special education position to be a little more comprehensive. So what we're proposing here for the remainder of the year, but also in the future, is going to have a director of special services position. This position would encompass not just special ed, but also student services. So they have one focus on vision and mission to collaborate and synergy between both of those departments, right? Because they share so many resources already. A 5-4 plan, an IEP plan, how we support those students for 5 resources are very similar, right? And the interventions we provide for our kids. When we talk about our individual psychologists and our social workers, they're working with our general education students, but they're also working with our special education students in terms of requirements or if they're in crisis in some way. Some of the groups that we run. So there's such synergy between both departments. Having one primary focus, right, to really bring those departments together for a very clear chain of command, a very clear direction, really with the emphasis on student support, whether you're in special ed or you're in general education. I think is absolutely critical. And because they share so many resources, having that one voice, that they can turn to all of our staff members for that clear, consistent message is going to be a great benefit to the district. And then moving forward, when we do that consolidation, and we truly become that one school, I think that mindset and that framework will serve us very, very well. So what we're doing is adopting the new position. We will then open that position up, and then we hope to bring the candidate to you for the new Director of Special Services position at our next board meeting. Are there any questions?
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the Director of Special Services in the attendant position?
So moved.
Pat? Second? Nicole, roll call, please.
Mr. Ryan?
Yes.
Levin?
Yes.
Mr. Fisher?
Yes.
Mrs. Laura?
Yes.
Mr. Arnold?
Yes.
Ms. Renner?
Yes. Thank you. The new 2021-2022 course proposal.
All of you, thank you, Dr. It's an exciting stuff. And a special thank you to Ms. Brummer, Mr. Hying, for your years of stewardship of the Executive Planning, Curriculum, and Technology Committee. I want to provide you with about a 10-minute overview of what was a very exciting hour-and-a-half meeting last week at that committee. And that was really the culmination of 2 years worth of conversation about what curriculum guide changes, additions, pathway tweaks would be necessary so that we could successfully have this campus shift that will be happening here in just the next few months. So as I go through these slides, you're going to notice, I'm going to reference very quickly, a wide variety of additional blended courses that would be added to the curriculum guide for next year. That's really about 3 years in the growth. Many of you know that blended learning is both a mix of face-to-face and virtual or digital learning, days where students might not be in class, but they might be studying elsewhere, while teachers are providing extra help to students in class. And of course, right now, unfortunately, we're missing the face-to-face part of that learning. But someday when the pandemic is gone, we will have a plethora of 3 times as many blended courses in McHenry High School. So as you see that, and as you hear the term blended more, or are asking the community about, hey, how do the blended courses work? It's important that you know that there will be a great increase for next year. We have been working on this blended plan for now about 4 years. We started off with jazz band for a clear curricular reason. Last year, actually this year, it was a regular normal school year. We had 14 blended courses in one completely digital course. Of course, now all of our courses are completely digital, and that has really spurred our educators in really becoming excited and having those conversations about their readiness to teach blended because of all they've been able to do and learn over the past 6 months during the pandemic teaching digital. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a quick overview of each division. I wanted to start off with student services and some non-departmental courses. The first, we spent some time talking last week that the FAFSA, the Federal Application for Student Assistance, is a graduation requirement now for ISPD. And for any parents out there who don't want or are uncomfortable with the FAFSA process, they can complete a non-participation agreement that we'll have available for all students. We're very excited about the Junior College and Career Readiness Seminar. This is going to be a modification or an evolution of our current college prep study, which next year all juniors at every high school, because all juniors are going to be in one place, are going to experience 1 semester of the College and Career Readiness Seminar, where they will learn things like application writing, resume writing. They will analyze their SAT data. They will practice Khan Academy. They will do college and career research, and they will complete a resume. So these are all things that for 1 semester, all juniors in District 156 can participate in, unless they take a 7th class and they don't have that period that we normally get starting. So we're really excited about that. Quick look at a couple of non-departmental. Really, this first one is the most important. We've been meeting in committees for a year and a half now, talking about what would be that capstone leadership course that as part of it would be one opportunity, that as part of it, those seniors will go to campus, the freshman center, to work a couple days a week with our 9th graders. So that will be what was SLT, the link crew, and working with freshmen. That would be the leadership and action course. We'll also have an honors option. CTE is very exciting things. We are bringing on a reading course next year called Drones and Unmanned Flights. It will be a course that not only learns how to build the principles of flying drones, but they will go through the curriculum so that the students can take advantage of the FAA Part 107 flight certification for not only drones, but also if they want to become pilots. So they have to learn about the entire curriculum to prepare them to pass that pilot's test and be able to fly drones. Some important pathway changes are graphics, our auto and power mechanics, and there's been some modifications to our construction. Because as we are changing some of our prerequisites, some of those courses are going to come over here to the upper campus, and they will no longer be available to 9th grade. And some of these courses will be at the freshman campus exclusively available to 9th grade. So you'll see that CTE, PE, and Fine Arts in particular have a variety of pathway changes that are going to be really, really good for students because they won't have to travel to meet all of those interests that they've had to travel for the last 40 or 50 years. Science, we're very excited. We're going to be bringing on a dual credit science course that will be in addition to our honors chemistry. So students, sophomore students who pass math and some of our internal qualifying exams we have are going to be able to take honors chemistry that is going to be dual credit aligned to MCHS Science Chemistry 164. So they will get college credit that is transferable. You'll also notice that the science department is really excited. They got 7 courses that will become offered fully blended, including many of our lab classes. In mathematics, we added, you remember last year we added a lower level course, fundamentals of algebra geometry. We're going to be adding an upper level 9th grade course, the tangent to that course, advanced algebra and geometry. So both of those classes, the students will not only sharpen their algebra skills, but they will take care of their geometry requirement and then be able to move on to either algebra or algebra 2. In this case, those students can move on to algebra 2. And you see 6 math courses that will be offered blended as well. In English, we're very excited. We are building out the very end of that communications pathway. Remember, we started off with journalism and newspaper to go along with your book, and now next year we will have broadcast journalism, and our communications and video suite will be done in this 200 level of the Center for Science, Technology, and Industry. English is all very excited. It had 7 or 8 blended courses, many upper level, junior and senior level writing courses will be offered blended next year. In social science, you may remember last year we approved the social science internship 2 years in advance. Next year, that internship will be running. It's already been approved to give our seniors experiential internship experiences in law, in government, public service, and human service. We're also celebrating the U.S. government, the federal government, and the U.S. government will be a year-long course, changing the title of our digital learning the digital world to be more of a relevant current events digital course, and then also changing, rewriting our intro to psychology class to psychology in the world today. A major focus of our social science department is to rework their courses and make them more real world relevant. And we all know and understand how important those courses are today. You may have seen the recent article in the Daily Herald about the civil discourse statement that our social science department is working on. Very, very important work for our students these days. Another 6 blended courses, actually 5 blended courses for social science. PE is quite extensive because they've really reevaluated the whole pathway of physical education. And this is probably one of the clearest areas where it's going to be a huge benefit for 9th graders to be a different campus. Because now, if you look down at the bottom, the 9th graders, because they have that entire campus themselves and all the facilities in that campus, they're now going to be able to choose from regular physical education, intro to strength, intro to dance, and intro to physical life. 9th graders have never had that kind of opportunity before. And then here at the upper campus, they'll have additional thorough. The 10th graders are going to be able to choose regular PE that's only sophomore, physical education. The 11th and 12th graders are going to have team sports, a swimming basic class. But I want to pause just for a second and talk just a little bit about this elective that's being proposed and recommended for passage. Adventure education. Many high school districts in the Chicago area have adventure education course. Of course, with rock climbing, climbing walls, rappelling ropes, and a variety of outdoor education elements. But it is expensive. The price tag for that course will be somewhere in the ballpark of $90,000. But it will be really the finishing touch on our already blue ribbon physical education program. Okay, so I did want to point that out.
If I could add 2 comments, the one area in PE that you talked about, which I agree with wholeheartedly, question, but we are going to have challenges in PE because we are bringing so many additional students over the building. It's nice to be up the pool, and Adventure Ed is going to give us one more area that students can select during that PE time. Because we do have to consider that our space hasn't necessarily changed here, and we are bringing over an additional number of students. And everyone has to take PE throughout the school day. And so obviously we have great support, to be great outside, but once we start getting inside the winter months, having an adventure ed station is going to make a huge difference in being able to section people out and make some more room when we make that shift.
Thank you, Dr. Tagg. In the area of fine art and world language, again, there's some pathway shifts to see that our upper level French, German, and Spanish will be offered blended. Our French and German will also be offered as MCC dual credits, and that's going to be great for our French and German students. And we will be restructuring our band and our choir to have a pathway that highlights a freshman concert band and a freshman choir. Okay? And then lastly, the division of multilingual learners. Jackie Rubio has proposed for the summertime a new government academy that we will offer for students newer to the United States that stimulate them to both language acquisition, but also how to succeed in high school, and also the reworking of our resource English lab for multilinguals. And then lastly, I would like to just give very quickly over some slides. And all of you as a group have not been able to see this yet, but I think it is important to remember and to know as we think about blended learning and talk to people in the community that this has really been a focus in designing the interior spaces of our schools. From reworking of our common areas, buildings, investments into our media centers and other common spaces, but the entire intentional design of the Center for the Science Technology Industry. Just want to show you just a few of these soft spaces called extended learning environments that you'll see all throughout the new building. This is the learning ledge. It's going to be right outside the manufacturing center on the 200 level. At the end of each hallway and throughout our hallways to the 300 and 400 levels, you will have all of this amazing soft seating for students to mingle, to study, to collaborate. You see here, this is going to be the main 300 level hallway where our current art rooms are right now. When we take those off, that's going to look like the concourse of an airport with lots of soft seating where students can study and congregate. This is the 400 level, the top floor of where our math department will eventually reside. You see all the soft seating. Again, fish bowls, soft seating on the 400 level, and then the warrior room, which is our large meeting space that we have on the top. So I just wanted to be able to go all that to you very, very briefly, kind of skim through all of the exciting things we have been talking about and entertaining you with your questions and humbly ask for your recommendation for the passage of the course proposals for 21-22. That's again on and Tim for the leadership of the committee. Are there any questions about the curriculum?
I have one, Carl, just a quick one. Actually, just at the beginning with the non-departmental courses and the leadership in action.
Yep.
Sounds exciting, and I just wonder, I know it's kind of to redo the SLT and the link crews for bringing campus leadership. So is this a course that they have to take as opposed to it being a club? I don't know if club is the right word, but right now you're not necessarily in a class when you're in SLT.
Right.
I don't think you are with Link either. So, and if that is the case, then if you don't have, a lot of the students that are in this that I remember and from experience are kids that are have robust schedules, and they take the top, part of this robust schedule that they can. So if there's going to be room for this, for some of our students that would not necessarily, that have done it, that type of student that's done it in the past.
Yeah, great question. We definitely, it's a great question. We evaluated that. We evaluated the pluses and minuses of engaging in the curricular course, and all of the, it was done definitely in all of our committees that we've had, but the advisors that work for both SLT and MAIC really believe that giving off credit, but to also be able to create a much more robust leadership experience. And we really, in many ways, in our discussions of what our bell schedule is really going to look like, and at some point we'll get more into that bell schedule, but an aim is going to be at the beginning of the day for the ninth graders. And that's going to align with the first period for the upperclassmen. So those blended days, those 2 days a week, our seniors are going to be able to spend open their day at the ninth grade building to spend a lot of time there, and then have to be their first period class. So also be able to have class some days a week, first period of leadership interaction. But the ability to be able to identify what goals, what the targets, to really make a great curriculum for a leadership capstone, but also to service the mentoring needs of our ninth graders, outweighing the disadvantages. And of course, there'll be students that have two classes where they have, course conflicts, but, we'll certainly.
But we've also talked about providing like a team lunch so that those students can still take their 7 periods and have a respite or a lunch. So that if they want to engage in this class, they can still take their complement of classes, they would have that opportunity. And so trying to build in something to where they can get that lunch in without taking a full lunch period too, to make up what they might be losing for that first period. I agree with you. That was one of my first concerns. So I still want them to be able to have access to those 7 periods, and I think that they're going to have access to those 7 periods. We might have to restructure their lunch for them. But that's one of the goals so that they can continue to serve.
And right, the Amy at the upper campus is going to land right before the fourth period. So there are going to be different locations between the two.
So you could easily still have access to your 7 periods.
Right.
Which I think is important.
Yeah.
So I agree.
The other question.
So Carl focused on that fall seating a little bit. I mean, obviously we have 33 classrooms, spaces, lab spaces, but really, when you talk about bringing on, how many blended courses, Carl, in total?
We'll be at 50.
So 50 new blended courses. But what we talk about is that the school that we're building is not for today, it's not tomorrow. And so some of those blended learning environments, those collaborative spaces, are really to support the blended learning high school. And when you're talking about bringing 50 courses in, having that space so kids on their off days are able to find space to study or to collaborate is really, really important outside of just a common or cafeteria. And that was part of the constructional design, all right, to make these hallways kind of that instructional collaborative area to engage. What we hope to see happen is moving to that blended curriculum in multiple courses. Anything else for the courses? Awesome, big day.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the 2021-2022 curriculum guide course proposal?
So moved.
Tim, second?
Second.
Pat, roll call please.
Is that right?
Yes.
Mrs. Bowden?
Yes.
Mr. Winter?
Yes.
Mrs. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Arnold?
Yes.
Ms. Gunter?
Yes. Thank you. Administrative restructuring consolidation of 2021-2022 school year and contract approval. Springfield High School principal and assistant superintendent of finance and finance.
Yeah, I'm excited tonight, and that's just for the new course proposals. I look up as we go today, and see the construction, it's amazing. 100,000 square foot facility, which is absolutely amazing. And despite all the challenges that we face right now, I have to always reiterate the future is so bright for our district. And even though we're talking about hybrid scheduling and the pandemic and COVID, we have such a huge transition taking place next year that will fundamentally shift, how we serve our students in our community. And so we're still having that mindset. And so much of the work that we do in addition to, serving our students right now is preparing for that transition. And it's imperative right now that we start building positions so that we can be ready and prepared for that transition to take place next year. And so tonight I bring forward 2 very important positions that we're going to go ahead and name and hopefully approve so that we can start that process moving forward so that we are ready for next year. And not just having them in place so that we can start the transition process, but also hire those lower level positions that will become open or vacant so that we are prepared and we are ready. I just want to start with the idea that 2018, when we passed our referendum, we did promise the voters that we were going to look as we did this campus shift, this campus shift of consolidating not only our administrative resources, but all of our resources in order to not only save the district money, but become more efficient, all right? Become more flexible, become more structured, to establish more of a chain of command. And that process really starts tonight with 2 individuals that I'm going to bring forward. And first and foremost, I want to go ahead and bring forward the principal position for next year. Now, we currently have 2 principals, one at East Campus and one at West Campus. Marsha will be retiring. She's done a great job. We love Marsha. She retired actually for a second time at the end of this year. We brought her back in the interim component. Jennifer is the principal at East Campus. We will be shifting as part of our consolidation to one district principal. We'll no longer have two principals in the district. We'll be to one principal who will be our MCHS principal governing our campus. Because that's what it is, right? We're trying to become that one school. And we want our principal to have that guidance, that vision that encompasses everything we do. And I am proud to recommend Jennifer, who has served East Campus since 2017. He's done an amazing job building the culture, building the climate of that school to really serve as that representative, as our principal, as our leader, right, as our MCHS principal next year when we begin our transition. And that's at the upper campus and, of course, the freshman campus, because we are one school. I also think that for East Campus students, East Campus parents, or maybe that transition from East Campus to West Campus, I think they'll feel very good about the district following them over as we begin a whole new culture, a whole new climate, a whole new history here in McHenry as we make our transition next year. So my first recommendation is to have the district moving forward next year to become that MCHS one principal governing the entire district. My second, we have another retirement next year. Mr. David Lawson, who's been with the district as our CFO, our Chief Financial Officer. He has done an amazing job. And we look around these amazing facilities, we talk about our fund balance, we talk about our ability to invest. It's really been Dave's fiscal management, all right, for all of these different years to get us in the position where we're at. I'm sure you remember a time when we weren't able to do these things. But it was Dave's management and assisting the board that really put us in a great position where we are here. So we wish him the best. He could have done a better job for the district, and he used a large vacancy as our CFO. However, we're also very blessed to have Julie Pontarelli, who has been with the district for 10 years. Served as a math teacher, a science teacher. She's been the department director of math and science, and now she served as human resources director for the past 4 years. And Julie has done an outstanding job in forming our entire human resources department. And she's already working in so many aspects of finance. She's negotiated 3 contracts in conjunction with our association and our unions. She does all our payroll, our insurance. So many aspects of finance Julie is already doing within the human resources structure, working with retirees. And so it's really a natural progression to consolidate and bring both of those departments, human resources, right, and our business office together under one supervisor, and that would be Julia Pontarelli. So that consolidation I would be recommending for next year. She takes over as the assistant superintendent here, and personnel. We're blessed that Julia has multiple education degrees. She's getting her doctorate currently. She has not only the certificate, but also her superintendent endorsement. Working side by side with Dave, being in the business office here for the past 4 years, she is well prepared to go ahead and unify those offices to have that structure, that framework, so that we can move forward next year. So I'm recommending both of those positions. First, Jeff taking over as our full MCHS principal. Julia taking over as the superintendent of finance and personnel, and that will shift our cabinet team from 6 members to 4 as part of that consolidation. And we'll be on the road to saving almost $300,000 that we hope to save well on our way at the end of next year in administrative costs. So we're lucky that we've got great people, right? We're committed to do the job, but we're also looking through that consolidation framework to save our taxpayers money so we can reinvest in our communities, like we said in 2018. So those are our recommendations. I know you've met with our candidates. I know our school community knows them very, very well. And it's such an exciting day for our district to start taking that first step forward, or to really take that first step forward to the second period of after the facilities are built, to starting that planning process, that transition process, and hiring for the future, which is very, very bright in the Parent District 156. And so that is our recommendation to approve both of those this evening. We can start that process and begin that process. Are there any questions?
do I have a motion to approve the administrative restructuring salary 2021-2022 year and contract for local adjustment as the preparing high school principal and Julia Pontarelli as the assistant superintendent of finance and personnel starting July 1st, 2021.
So moved.
Pat, second.
I'll second.
Mary, roll call please.
Mr. Knight?
Yes.
Mrs. Blair?
Yes.
Mr. Fisher?
Yes.
Mrs. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Arnold?
Yes.
Ms. Dunn?
Yes.
All right. Student Tupper? Yeah, he's here. He's online. Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Mr. Ginzburg?
Is he there? Can you hear?
He's muted, isn't he?
You're muted, Garrett. Yes. Okay. Congratulations, guys. So again, a fantastic day for our district moving forward. I'm so proud of you both and your commitment to our district and to our teachers and to our kids and to our school community. I just want to start with Jeff. He has done an outstanding job. Come up here. He's done an outstanding job really building that culture and that climate at East Campus. I know that our students love him. I know that with everything that he's done at East Campus to build that climate, to build that culture, to do that, to build that feeling of one, you know, and to feel that special connection with their principal. I know that when you come over to West Campus, that the parents and the students there are going to welcome you with open arms as our new district principal and leader. So if there's anything you'd like to say in response to that, it'd be great.
Yes, please, thank you very much, all board members and administration. I really appreciate the showing of support. And I promise you that we will all understand what it means to be one school with one goal, and that is warrior learning. So I'm just thrilled on behalf of my family and myself. We're just honored to this opportunity here to serve as the McHenry High School building district. So I'm super excited and thrilled. So thank you so very much. I appreciate it.
Great job, Jeff.
Thank you.
You know, she's been with us for a long time. You know, she's got a great relationship with our staff members, and really moving forward to serve our students and our staff. And I know that in this new role as CFO, but also human resources, that's just going to continue to expand. So if there's anything you'd like to say too, that was your time.
Just like Dr. Bridget, I want to thank you for this opportunity and for taking me for this position. I can't wait to serve the district in this capacity. As acting tag, he said I've been here for 10 years and had a variety of different positions. And so this is what I'm very excited to and looking forward to serving the district and the community. So thank you, guys.
That's great. Thanks, guys.
Okay, so 14 reports of special planning. We had a great meeting and you guys were able to approve that, so nothing more for that. Finance?
We need to meet to go over the levy. I was hoping to have some information now, but the county will not get that ready until probably next week. So we'll have to schedule a meeting, finance committee meeting for that.
Okay, great. Facility?
I think I want to combine the facilities committee meeting with the finance, or are we going to have a separate one?
We should talk about that. I think that might be
Oh,
smart.
that'd be a good idea.
Yeah. Why don't we go ahead and as we schedule the finance, we'll also schedule facilities beforehand and maybe we can have both because we are going to want to go over the final budgeting for the construction, so it'd be good.
So do you want to do it before the board meeting or a week before?
Well, why don't we talk about it? We'll send out some possible dates and then we'll figure out what that looks like.
Okay.
Great. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. Superintendent report.
Well, again, I just think it's an exciting night to see the culmination of these pathways, to see our facilities, being built and under construction. And then, of course, starting that process of not only hiring our 2 administrators tonight, but also into the future and really focusing on the future, even in difficult times. I know that Dr. Cricket and Mr. Donatos will be giving a presentation about that transitional framework that we've been working on for the past year and a half. At the beginning of November, so that's something to definitely look forward to as we begin that process of focusing on the future. The other thing I just wanted to discuss really quickly, thank you to all our teachers, our students, our community. I think everyone's doing a great job with their digital learning. As you know, we are looking to move back to the hybrid schedule on November 4th. However, if you're reading the news, you can see that those metrics have slowly been creeping up. They've been changing. And so just so you know, and our community know, we're evaluating those metrics every single day. I'm in constant communication with the McHenry Department of Health. I meet with them actually weekly in a scheduled meeting to really talk about the metrics and what's happening in our county. They've assured us that it's okay for us to pursue and continue our pursuit of a hybrid model sometime November 4th. However, we're still about 2.5 weeks out. We're going to continue to monitor those metrics, and the county health department has assured us that if there's a reason that we may need to close, given our case, given how the public health metrics have risen in the county, they will give us a call and they will let us know. So right now, we are staying the course, all right, of continuing to plan for that hybrid return on November 4th. However, because of the metrics, because things are changing, case counts are rising, we are taking a very close watch, and we'll be in constant communication with our parents, especially if we have to change direction or take a pause for any reason. But for right now, that's what we have. The metrics are updated every Friday. I usually am able to be ready on Wednesday as to what the direction of the county looks like, and we promise to continue to communicate to let everybody know kind of where we stand. Are there any questions on that, or?
Ryan, should we establish a timeline at all for parents? So like, if we're scheduled to start on November 1st, we'll have a definitive answer by Wednesday prior. I don't know.
Great question.
I'm just trying to I'm just thinking, okay, if I'm a parent and I have to figure out, logistics, I need more than a Friday afternoon email. To figure it out.
I would think from a board perspective, we can all agree that by next Friday, if things have shifted so much that we would want to make that call before we leave on that long break and kids come back, where we would maybe have to take a pause. We'll be in constant communication if the determination is that we're going to move forward with that hybrid schedule. And so that's kind of the game plan, that by that Thursday or Friday of next week, before we go on that fall break, before those parent-teacher conferences, if we're seeing the metrics shift to the point or the McHenry County Public Health Department tells us that we can no longer open, then we're going to communicate that right away to our parents. But that would be my goal. We're not going to send a message here on Saturday night going into Sunday or Monday or Tuesday when we're off that all of a sudden, hey, we're going to close or we're still open. We want to try to make that definitive answer before we go on that fall. That's the goal. But again, anything could happen. This is a very fluid situation. Could McHenry Department of Health or the governor revert us back to phase 3? That could happen on the drop of a dime. The good news is it just means we stay in the same position that we're at, However, I think it's important to inform our parents of our intentions to move forward with the hybrid schedule so that they are prepared and they are ready and they can make those plans. Okay, anything else there?
Brian, I've got one more. Have we had any early read on the virtual parent-teacher conferences? Are they being well received? Are parents signing up for them?
I'll turn it over to Carl for that one.
Absolutely. We were about 40% full after 24 hours.
Oh, really?
Yes. And, there's several reasons for that. I've gotten some anecdotal emails and whatnot from some parents that is very easy to use. We have a portal landing page right on the website. And once a parent has their free sign-up EDS account, they basically just go and sign up. They find the teachers and sign up at time. It's never been this easy to come to conferences before, right? You don't have to, leave your drive.
That's great.
And there is a higher degree of student struggle right now. So because of the situation, so I definitely think that our turnout will be high.
Thanks.
Okay. So we move forward, and I think I thank all of our teachers and everyone performing at such a high level, and we also focus on the future and look towards all the great things that are happening in our district, next year and beyond. So important to keep that in mind. That's all I have.
Okay, nothing else? All right, we have a motion to adjourn at 8:05 PM, please.
So moved.
Tim, second?
Second.
Justin, roll call?
Mr. Hyde?
Yes.
Ms. Levitt?
Yes.
Mr. Fisher?
Yes.
Mrs. Morrow?
Yes.
Mr. Arnold?
Yes.
Mr. Pittsburgh? Ms. Brown?
Yes. Okay, we are adjourned.